Hi, it's that time of the month again, where I slither from the depths to shock and disturb you with my latest research in cursed video game artifacts. Not because they're my specialty or I'm super passionate about them, but because doing this causes a brain activity spike high enough to keep the doctors from euthanizing me for now. This time the malice isn't contained in just one game, but an entire family tree of around 7 or 8 branches, totaling over 400 games across 3 decades. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only Simple series, a small army of quick and cheap games just waiting to be purchased by grandmas all over Japan and ending up in some poor kid's hands as a most underwhelming gift. We start out with the shovelware classics, licensed games, shogi, mahjong, sports, functional but unambitious projects, perfectly content with filling their respective market niche, fully aware of their frivolous nature and almost treating it as a selling point. The main families of the Simple Crime Syndicate can be recognized by their designated numbers. The Simple 1500 games for the PlayStation cost 1500 yen and are mostly composed of filler games like I just described. With a few odd exceptions we'll look at later, the Simple 2000 games for the PlayStation 2 are what comes to most people's minds when they think of the series. Sure, the usual load-bearing shovelware is still there, but we have a pretty big deviation from the norm. This time, the number of pervy weirdo games increases tenfold. Game quality now varies wildly between Hidden Gem and Meth Lab Explosion. Developers are allowed to do pretty much whatever they want, so long as it doesn't break the bank. Maybe D3 Publisher was feeling generous now that they had a whole 500 extra yen to work with. They're the main culprit behind this mess, by the way. They really wanted you to never forget this logo. Apparently, the name stands for Domain 3, referring to their original plan of publishing in 3 different mediums: video games, music, and literature. They have put out a few visual novels and rhythm games, so I guess we can meet them halfway on that. The 2 real breadwinners to come out of the Simple 2000 era became full-blown franchises: Earth Defense Force and Onechambara. You've heard of them, and they're certainly important, but they won't be the focus of this video. I've spent the past month playing over a dozen games for research, silently kicking myself for ever thinking this was a good idea, until I managed to zero in on 2 studios who were prolific during the 2000 era and very eccentric in their output. The first is TAMSOFT, the ecchi legends responsible for Onechambara and Demolition Girl, among many others. The second are
VINGT-ET-UN
Systems Corporation, who made a selection of bizarrely experimental games in every genre under the sun with frankly unnecessary levels of style and personality. Like a few other weirdo 6th-gen studios, they were dormant for over a decade before being conscripted into Capcom's zombie slave army, forced to work on some of the worst games ever made for the rest of time. I bet they share all sorts of stories with their cellmate Kavia. Let's see what they made before the dark times. Simple 2000 Volume 64, The Splatter Action, localized as Splatter Master, is what made me decide to research the Simple series and eventually create the clusterfuck you're watching right now. Mechanically, it's the most simple game in
VINGT-ET-UN's
catalog, being a run-of-the-mill stage-based beat-em-up. What's exceptional is the everything else. A quaint little village is attacked by the evil wizard Jagod, who makes use of black magic to turn objects and animals sentient, creating an inhuman army totally subservient to him. An elderly couple of farmers refuse to give up their land to the invaders, and are kidnapped by Jagod's followers and taken to his castle. The farm's local scarecrow also came to life thanks to the wizard's spell, but as a free soul unlike the others. He then embarks on a quest to save his pseudo-parents and take back his home. The Scarecrow's name is actually Death Doll Kakashi, if this weird crossover fighting game is anything to go by. Regardless, I love him. He's a hot topic cartoon creature tearing through this emo Halloween world with his Dead Rising clown chainsaws, all for the chance to become a real boy. He's the DeviantArt OC of an elfin lead watching girl who will ruin your life. I consider Kakashi to be the simple series personified, a fucked up little freak that's also endlessly charming. This visual style is why I took such an interest in the game to begin with. The Japanese usually operate on a time lag, adapting to new Western trends years after they've passed, but that's not the case here. Splatter Master is unbelievably 2004, and right on time for once. It's not entirely surprising since the Japanese had been combining creepy, cute aesthetics for decades at this point, but the tone here is very contemporary American, except good. Even the shopkeeper woman looks like something out of a horny toon platformer. You have a dull 3-hit combo, you jump and break boxes and leave cartoon blood puddles everywhere. That's all to be expected, but the real game only starts when you press L1 and R1 together. The music cuts out, leaving only creepy whispers and a faint heartbeat. Now you're the scariest thing in the game. You need fuel to enter chainsaw mode, and once you do, you're rewarded with extra money based on how many enemies you kill during the transition. This is pretty much all I wanted from the game. There are a few unfortunate pain points that come with Splatter Master, but they're nothing you haven't seen before. Leaving aside the more generic stuff like balance issues or overtuned bosses, some stuff in the game just doesn't work super well. For one, the flying imp enemies ram into invisible walls more than they attack you, or don't attack at all and just wait for you to drown yourself. Good strategy, I suppose. I somehow also managed to get soft lock twice in this 40-minute long game. Both times involved the trash can enemy. One because I forgot to kill one of them, and it got stuck one screen over with no new enemies spawning. And once when I jumped on one of them and fell into an inescapable void. Splatter Master is absolutely a must-play for its visuals alone, but I'd recommend doing so in easy mode so the game doesn't put up much of a fight. Look at this. This is the level 2 boss. This Illbleed character that shoots out exploding burgers at you. You damage the boss by hitting them back at it, gradually exposing its horrific robot face. The Cowboy Canyon level has you chase a spooky demon train. This is what it sounds like. And this is what's on board. I rest my case. Quite a promising start to our little journey. Clearly,
VINGT-ET-UN.
has a lot more going on than your average simple developer. Let's see what else they've got lined up. Simple 2000 Volume 95, The Zombie vs. Ambulance, localized as Zombie Virus, is an arcade horror racing EMT simulator and probably one of the best things you could ever spend 2,000 yen on. This is the scariest loading screen of all time, and it's the very first thing you see when starting the game, even before the title screen. Welcome to Sunlight City. It's one of those vaguely dystopian future cities so beloved in Japanese fiction. Almost as beloved as earthquakes, one of which just so happens to hit the Sunlight University Hospital, where our vessel currently resides. He, a young medical student, along with his friend Susie, survived the quake only to bear witness to its grisly aftermath. The skies are black, and the only sounds are those of shuffling corpses. A sudden and total zombie infestation. We run to the basement garage and hatch a plan. To use the ambulance to save whatever citizens are still outside, and then hopefully leave Sunlight City for good. Oh, VSC, I get it. This game was just as much of an aesthetic surprise as Splatter Master, just in a different direction. Would you understand me if I said this game has visual novel music? That's the first impression I got from it. Basically every track feels like it could have come out of Saya no Uta or some other Nitro Plus thing. They're all incredibly good. You're currently hearing the Garage theme song, which is your little safe haven where you tune up your ambulance, talk to people, save the game, and so on. When you're out there though, there is no music. There's only the sound of your engine and tires, and ominous droning in the background. The distant voices of people and animals in distress, though you won't hear any of it over the constant thud of zombies hitting your windshield and Susie cheering for you on the radio. There are 3 things on the screen to be aware of. The vehicle life bar, which is self-explanatory, the 2 empty spaces above it being your maximum capacity, and the big hospital icon serving as your morale meter. Since your friends are not allowed to just close the garage door for whatever reason, they're constantly under siege by zombies while you're away playing Carmageddon. The meter will go down very quickly, and you can either raise it by getting large zombie kill combos or hauling ass back to the hospital. I spent a lot of time on low morale and felt like I had soft-locked myself since I could barely do anything, but things worked out eventually. You just need to dedicate a few runs to mowing down as many zombies as possible so you have more time to rescue survivors later. The general tone in Zombie Virus reminds me of other evil car games such as Twisted Metal Black and Konami's Thrill Drive, but it's still a goofy arcade game at heart, if you couldn't already tell. The survivors in this game aren't really characters and more like RTS units you stack together to unlock new things. Normal people are worthless dead weight, and I only save them because the game makes me. Police officers and soldiers can slow morale decrease. Politicians can unlock new areas of the city, and mechanics develop new vehicles and parts for you, most of them completely ridiculous. A few hours in and I was zipping around on rocket thrusters, with spiked wheels and a guillotine bumper. There's even 2 non-medical vehicles that you can unlock that I'm too lazy to show you. Each survivor has their own infection rate, which you can only lower by picking up vaccine items on the road, or curing them at the hospital. If one of them turns before that, you have to forcefully eject them by crashing into something before they kill you. Zombies can also cling to your car and damage it. The game says to get rid of them by driving wildly, but that's bullshit, and all you have to do is just wiggle the left stick for a few seconds. Don't do what I did here. There's some mildly compelling choices you can make with your vehicles, regarding strength versus speed, capacity versus handling, and so on. Again, this game was sold for 2,000 yen right next to Hentai Mahjong. Zombie Virus is massively over-delivering here. There's some awkward difficulty spikes and some really bad bosses, but overall I'd say this is an extremely good game. If Splattermaster is an edgy PG-13 cartoon, then Zombie Virus is a horror B-movie, except good and not propulsive on account of being Japanese. Oh, there he is. I told you Kakashi is awesome. For some reason, this game reminds me of Disaster Report but with zombies, which just so happens to rank very high in my list of dream games. I think it's the garage, the image of everyday people taking shelter from some awful event, and also the bizarre failed attempts to pass this obviously Japanese setting as something Western. The anime blonde hair is enough of a tell, but then I drive past the off-brand Family Mart, and the illusion is just fully shattered. Oh well, they tried. Simple 2000 Volume 108. The Japan Special Forces Violent Crime Archipelago 24 Hours, localized as Special Forces, is a game I have no notes for, and you can probably guess why. Special Forces is a violent collision of the classic hard-boiled anime super cop story, with airsoft nerd roleplay and some mid-2000s terrorism panic thrown in there for spice. The year is 2015. Japan has fallen. The fearsome Red Afro gang controls the streets, terrorizing innocent konbini shoppers. You can't even escape underground without running into the White Hard Hat gang. Kidnappings and bombings happen daily. Religious cults promise salvation but deliver death. There are only 4 men enough to fight back and reclaim their country. Together they form the SACT, an elite squad of hardcore demon cops, ready to end terrorism forever. I guess this is the Japanese equivalent of Fugitive Hunter. Before going on missions, you can pick your gear and select your character along with an AI buddy. They all have different stats, so I guess they expect you to synergize. I enjoy what little personality is implied by their animations.
VINGT-ET-UN.
Strongest quality is easily their art design, their willingness to make every game feel completely distinct. That still holds true with Special Forces, but I would say the presentation took a pretty big hit with this game. Everything looks and sounds amateurish in a strange way. We've slipped into amusing kusoge fidelity, which I do like, but it still comes off as a downgrade to the previous stuff. It more neatly fits the simple series mold. The game penalizes you for killing people. Instead, you're supposed to shoot them paraplegic and then arrest them, which is much more humane. You can also use your stealth camo to hold them up from behind. Your companion can alert and fight bad guys by himself, which creates some fun, chaotic moments. There's a whole command menu as well. As you may expect, the tactical squad shooter stuff is just extra seasoning on what is once again a mission-based arcade game. I think it's cool though, slowly opening doors to get a few shots in or just kicking it down. Truth be told, there's nothing really wrong with Special Forces. It's not the most exciting VSC game, but it plays well enough and I was mildly interested during the hour or so I spent with it. Games like this are the sign of a healthy industry. Like its pachinko golf ancestors, it was created to maintain a certain balance and make sure new things are always being made. It needed to exist, and I think we're all better off for it. Simple 2000 Volume 99, The Genshijin, translated to The Caveman, localized as The Adventures of Darwin, is the story of a little monkey man cursed with prophetic visions of the apocalypse. He informs his fellow simians of the extinction to come, and they all agree to evolve as fast as possible in order to become human and figure out a way to escape certain doom. You know, Pikmin is really good. I first played it last October and it became an instant favorite. It's a shockingly weird and difficult game by Nintendo standards. I loved it. VSC also loved it, as you can tell from Darwin over here. You grow your monkey gang and run around collecting food and shiny items to carry back home. Your village slowly gets bigger as you slowly become Grug. Also, everything kills you and the game feels impossible until it doesn't. I won't hammer this point too much, since derivative games are mostly a net good, and making something like Pikmin at all was probably extremely hard. You can evolve after discovering alien technology such as the wheel or the ladder. You go from trading bananas with the other monkeys to developing a caveman stock market powered by rock money. Your tribe becomes more organized and effective. You give them weapons and band together to fight the 5 million threats there are everywhere. There's even a day and night cycle where some creatures fall asleep, making your life a little bit easier. The game changes substantially as you evolve, which I wasn't expecting. This isn't simple at all. They should have put this one in the Holy Fuck Someone Help Me series. Maybe I just suck or something, but it feels like every level here is 15 enemies on a barren field or a tiny cliff. And that's not counting all the traps and rivers and bottomless pits. It's absurdly dangerous. Imagine if every level in Pikmin was the distant spring. This isn't really a criticism. Eventually I grew to find some enjoyment in the constant stress and failure, and you don't get more Pikmin than that. They're back on top with the visuals and music too. The menus are extra fancy. Apparently this game goes insane near the end and you have to build a rocket and go kill God or something. That sounds awesome, but I'm short on time right now and can't spend 10 hours playing a game that often feels like eating glass. Maybe you can find out for yourself if you're interested. I had a pretty good time myself. Simple 2000 Volume 116, The Nakamura no Hitobito, translated to The People of Cat Village and the Pug Magistrate's Reign of Evil, is
VINGT-ET-UN.
second attempt at doing a quirky Pikmin-like, and it might be their best game. Not that you'd know, since it's one of their only games not to be localized into English. Thankfully, it's gaijin friendly to the point where you could play through the whole thing just fine, maybe with some breaks to look up puzzle and menu translations, which are all available online. The anime cats were all hanging out together in peace, until the evil pug magistrate began pissing everyone off and eventually throwing their land into chaos. The cat princess disappears in the confusion, and the whole catdom bands together to rescue her and hopefully kill that ugly-ass dog. It's like nationalism for kids. Let's get this out of the way first. I think this is the cutest game ever made. Everything looks like a Nintendo DS capsule toy. It sounds like all the voice work was done by one really embarrassed Japanese woman. The music is so good I almost felt joy for once in my life. Look at this. Your cats have an idle animation where they fall asleep together. You need to understand, there's a lot of simple series entries that feel like they're holding on for dear life. Like even playing music or moving the character causes the game considerable pain. Nakamura doesn't just stand out in its home turf, but manages to hold its own against and even surpass a lot of its full-priced peers. I'm really glad I played The Adventures of Darwin before this, because it allowed me to pick up on all the differences between the two games. The biggest one being that Nakamura doesn't hate you anywhere as much as Darwin does. It's much more pleasant to go through, and shockingly easy compared to its big brother. It's a very good example of streamlining. They filtered out almost everything but the core mechanics, and yet the game doesn't feel lacking or brainless at all. It feels perfected. A new addition over Darwin that I really loved is the row system. You place your cats in different rows and can pick which ones you want to control during gameplay. Pikmin could have used something like this, honestly. Nakamura also has a large number of cat classes, each of them doing different things. Acrobats, miners, samurai, firefighters. It's pretty fun figuring out which to pick and how many. Nearly every time I went somewhere, I'd find some new thing I hadn't noticed before. A new path or an item or a fellow feline to rescue. And guess what? Kakashi is here too. The game considers him a special breed of cat that borrows skills from 3 other classes. He's a samurai, a miner, and a firefighter all in one, so there's basically no reason not to always use him. Here I am with my splatter army in the game's adorable haunted forest final level. It's a certified Yamato classic. Although I enjoyed Nakamura and Nakamura, I do still recommend The Adventures of Darwin as a companion piece to this. The games complement each other very well and are fascinating when put side by side. This serves as a good bookend for my VINGT-ET-UN segment. They had their own creative language which they honed to perfection over the years, and absolutely no one noticed. Well, I did, which I guess still counts as no one. Either way, the result is a selection of shockingly good manic pixie dream games, which I've now subliminally planted in your brain forever, so I guess my work here is done. Nakamura has another secret catalog group you can unlock. It's this tit monster called Riho Futaba. Her 3 skills are Sprinter, Fisherman, and Acrobat. Who is Riho Futaba? That question has an answer, but I don't know if you're ready for it.
Hello, I'm Riho Futaba. Today I've come to Minakojima Island in Okinawa to have a photo session. How about a jellyfish maybe? Oh, I feel dizzy. Bad goo-goom.
Welcome to TAMSOFT. You may not know them, but you've most likely been exposed to something they've made before. Their games are almost entirely centered around girls, polygonal women at the water park, playing mahjong, fighting each other, fighting zombies, playing ping pong, turning into kaijus and possibly killing thousands of people. Their biggest claims to fame are One Chambara and Senran Kagura. If seeing those names triggers a sudden grief response in you, then you're probably old. Like me. TAMSOFT has been a staple of "Oh Japan, you so wacky" articles and videos pretty much forever. It was mostly good-natured at first, just genuine amusement for people already into this kind of thing, that eventually morphed into a kind of ambient resentment and condescension from insecure squatters who were afraid TAMSOFT's antics would debase the medium they were trying to napalm into something grey goo pig-human hybrids considered respectable. This Onechambara Babe booth was featured in TGS 2014. Players had to cram their heads inside Kagura's wooden bust to play the demo. Nowadays I look at this picture the same way I look at Tasmanian tiger footage. The last creatures of their kind, fated to sink beneath the waves of time, as we wonder what could have been and try in vain to bring them back somehow. The market for otaku games like this was basically exploding around the time the stunt took place. In the current year, Onechambara and Senran are dead. Girl games are basically non-existent, outside of gachas or the Nintendo Switch spin-off Ghetto. We did it, guys. The icky, evil games are gone. There is less joy in the world. This industry is for adults now. It wasn't always like this, though. There was a time where TAMSOFT worked pretty much 24/7 making not just ecchi games, but their own weird original titles. It's actually hard to find games in the Simple 2000 series not made by TAMSOFT. They didn't have the luxury of being unique and artsy like Vantion. They had to toil in the fields, putting out several games a year, usually in the mold of girl, or fight, or sometimes girl fight. Demolition Girl is a clear example. It's in the name, after all. This game is the debut of Riho Futaba, a semi-official series mascot, having cameo appearances in various D3 published games. Demolition Girl sees her being controlled by a cartoon alien which turns her into a giant rampaging beast, and it's your job to stop her. Riho Futaba has no backstory or much of a personality besides being a ditzy idol, though she does express self-awareness in one rare case.
My name is Riho Futaba, but for what it's worth anymore, my body is now out of my control. It's as if it were completely controlled by someone else. Everywhere here, the atmosphere is different from usual. The birds are not singing. The city streets are empty.
Let's go somewhere else before she has a mental breakdown. I completed every challenge in Demolition Girl, by the way. Never doubt me. The opening text for Onechambara refers to the protagonist Aya as a slightly odd but unbeatable girl, which I think sums up TAMSOFT's whole thing. Scrappy, determined, easy to root for. No matter how unflattering their games can be at times. Simple 2000 Volume 65, The Kionchi Panic, localized as Zombie Attack, is not a game about zombies. As far as I can tell, Kionchi is a Japanization of Jiangshi, the famous hopping vampire from Chinese folklore. The game is not exactly subtle about it. Even the protagonist Fuyue is clearly some kind of journey to the West OC. Still, I don't blame them for the weird title. I imagine they thought this game needed as much market appeal as humanly possible, and no one played it anyway, so it's not like anyone noticed their blunder. Kionchi Panic is the vampire panic they make you play in hell. Your task every level is to rescue people and get them to the exit. Your tools are a sword, a gun, and a rice. I still don't know what the rice is for. By holding their respective buttons, you can charge powerful attacks or summon shields. What's interesting is that you can't actually kill anyone by yourself. You attack enemies and exorcise them with a talisman once they're weak enough. You can also charge it to get multiple of them at once. I really can't describe the way Kionchi Panic controls. The video doesn't do it justice. It's as though Fuyue gets stuck on air every few seconds and you have to rev her up like a car. It's very noticeable when you're trying to position yourself during a fight. I'm not sure why the game has so much trouble with this, but maybe it's not my place to ask. So yes, the people. You can issue them commands up until enemies appear, at which point they'll just run around in terror regardless. You can leave them behind loading screens. There's no friendly fire, probably because they knew that would make the game impossible. Fear not though, you can still put children in harm, so they got that part right. What I enjoyed the most here was the contrast. There's supernatural magic battles happening in featureless abandoned buildings. Fuyue is basically a Soul Calibur character, And the second level just drops her in the mall from Silent Hill 3. That was amusing enough to keep me playing for an hour or two. I guess I should mention that almost no Simple Series games ever made it to America. Most of what you've seen so far is either Japan only or PAL exclusive, typically released by 505 Games, Essential Games, or whoever else. The localization for most of these games is very interesting in that it barely exists at all. The words are in English, but that's about it. It feels like reading a bad manga scanlation, which fits the actual games like a glove. I really miss this kind of thing. Things like Simple 2000 Volume 87, The Nadeshiko, localized as Dragon Sisters. Let me read you the plot. Dragon Sisters is set 100 years after the end of the Great War, and the East Asian state is not doing very well. Constant wars and natural disasters have crippled its economy, so they decide to attack the neighboring empire in hope of kidnapping some scientists and other skilled individuals. As Empire is a peace-loving country, East Asia defeats their forces in just 3 days. Luckily, there are Kiku and Hana, 2 highly trained cyborg soldiers with only one objective: to protect Empire and its citizens. For some reason, TAMSOFT turned their dinky little beat-em-up into Baby's first Full Metal Demon Muramasa. Yes, Commander, who is absolutely not Hideki Tojo, I'll go beat up the robots right away. Banzai. There's just an Imperial flag waving over the main menu. What are you, Urban Chaos? I've also never seen a game with an upgradable cruelness stat before. With every TAMSOFT action game, you can see them get slightly better at it, and probably peak around the Onechambara Z2 Chaos era. It's like watching your baby grow. A name you'll see everywhere regarding the Simple series, and one I've neglected to mention until right now, is Nobuyuki Okajima. He's listed as the general producer for the Simple series, and appears to be the public face of it. And as you might guess, he's mostly known for his involvement with EDF. He gave an interview regarding the series and how they treated the games over there. The concept is to just make a reasonable game, to just make it as they like. He was also involved with Dragon Sisters, so you can't say he was lying. Though not all children grow up well. Some of them grow up to be rather warui even. But nice guy that I am, I want to give everyone a chance, even the ugly ducklings. And boy, there's a few of them. Hey, check it out. It's men. TAMSOFT actually knows what those are, and they made a few games about them. Let's just knock these out. Simple 2000 Ultimate Volume 21, Bring It On, Yankee Boss, The Legend of Showa 99, localized to Street Boys, which sounds like the title of some soy-lineal brain damage movie where the local cool kids have to stop the evil businessmen from turning their skate park into a mall. Street Boys is a beat-em-up / RPG fusion with manga delinquent tough guy aesthetics. There are many simple games sharing those traits, and this is the best of the ones I've played. The most responsive and elegant, or about as elegant as something like this can be. I would describe Street Boys as authentically ugly. There are tons of Yankee manga that look like this, and have this exact kind of weird dialogue. When I first saw the Hell Black Heaven gang and their thug capture project, I was immediately sold. These cops in the first level are freakish. They look like Cruelty Squad models, which fits the tone well. This game is how the guys in Cromartie High School see the world. It plays just like you'd expect. Go around the map, buy items, weapons, clothing, recruit fellow losers to your gang, launch your ultimate beam attack. It's absolutely okay. What I must show you, however, are the equipment screens. Each character has their own, and on top of looking very nice, they all have scrolling English text that I found very amusing. I'm proud of my glasses, but not of my life. Because I was born a man, I will have an operation that will allow me to blossom like a rose. Simple 2000 Volume 54, The Daikaiju, localized to Deep Water, is a game I have no notes for and I don't know why. It's very cool. It's basically TAMSOFT doing VINGT-ET-UN to the best of their ability. Our protagonist, who looks to be about 10 years old, is an amateur boatman named Sheepak. In this post-apocalyptic 6th-gen beach world, he must track down and kill an ancient sea monster. He has to do odd jobs for the few floating harbors scattered across the ruins. Perhaps I should say odd job because there's only one of them and it's shooting sharks to death. You have to watch out for things like fuel and overheating. The levels are all different seas you sail through. What little I've played of it left me very surprised and charmed. The only other game I can compare it to is Blue Submarine No. 6, Time and Tide for the Dreamcast. Both of them involve seafaring logistics in the anime post-apocalypse but aren't super boring about it. Imagine if we had another game like that but with all the modern bells and whistles. I guess we'll never know. Simple 2000 Volume 110. The Escape Prisoner, 10 Hours to the Truth of Ross City is, if you can believe it, a game released in 2006. There are some hints. This is everything I've said about Beatdown condensed into like 10 minutes. It's a Japanese attempt at gritty American crime gaming, except they're not spiritually ill enough to accurately replicate that, so they just make a goofy beat-em-up where you break boxes to eat low-res food and punch women to some funky music. You play as a man who got framed for his wife's murder, and has to evade police detection and reach out to the truth. I don't know if that's true or not, I'm just assuming from this one screenshot. Under the pitch-black sky of Ross City, you will sneak around like a cartoon burglar or disguise yourself to lower suspicion. Cops can't catch you if you just do the low stamina fentanyl walk away from them. If you're low on burger, you can stock up at the D3 store. If you want to move through the dark streets, you'll have to do a Yakuza car segment. Finally, Rodeo Town. Oh, okay. Simple 2000 Volume 112. The Toso Highway 2 Road Warrior 2050 is a half-action, half-car combat clusterfuck taking place in the Hokuto no Mad Max universe. And that is absolutely just the prisoner's main character but with black hair. You play as John Highway, a man who must battle the three lords of post-nuclear Tokyo to save his sick wife. I'm assuming again. I love the menus here, and I like having to dodge bits of crumbling old highway as you drive. Hey, what the hell, I just played this. This is a game where you need fuel to drive your car, but the only way to gain fuel is through dead enemy drops, requiring you to stop in the middle of the street and slowly beat or shoot random thugs to death and hope they have enough. This strikes me as more authentically American than anything in The Prisoner. I can't possibly claim to have given this game a fair shake, but I don't think you'll be too angry at me for it. To cap off my TAMSOFT segment on a good note, I would like to show you my favorite game of theirs. It's also fairly notorious, but in a more undignified, online kind of way. Simple 2000 Volume 113, The Tairyo Jigoku, translated to The Overwhelming Hell, is that game with the girl and the bugs in this cover that I'm sure a weird Russian girl somewhere thinks is very cool. It's also a high-budget RPG Maker fetish game. It also might as well be an ill-bleed level made into a full game. When your company is known for cute girls and awkward melee combat, why not combine the two in a horror setting, where the girl being cute actually means something and the awkward combat feels thematically appropriate? The game starts living up to its name right away with this freakish reversed clown music. A local dumb JK by the name of Erika Mizusaki has forgotten her flip phone at school and goes back in the dead of night to retrieve it. She hears her ringtone from inside the classroom, only to find a well-dressed rabbit in a top hat holding her phone. He runs away into the music room and she gives chase, only to see him jump into an otherworldly portal. And well, a girl's got to have her phone, so she jumps in right after him. Erika is the exact opposite of slightly odd but unbeatable, and that's what I like about her. She's a painfully average girl and extremely beatable. She has no dark past or mysterious connections to the other side. This is an entire game of her shrieking about bugs, complaining constantly, and trying to get her phone back, and this doesn't change until the true ending. Her only worry, aside from dying, is that her mom will get mad at her for staying out too late. It's genuinely very funny, and much more endearing than if they tried to make her a real character. It's recently been translated into English, and I don't think this was intentional, but the fan translation quality almost perfectly matches other simple games that were localized. We're back in incomplete manga scanlation from 2010 territory, and it's awesome. It would almost feel wrong if it was more natural or had more personality. There are 4 main levels and then an epilogue. Between each level, you'll wander the school, picking up items and going after your ringtone again. Within the levels, you'll do charmingly basic horror stuff, in between killing thousands of insects and a few ghosts. Shake the bugs off when they swarm you. If you don't, you'll die. High-level play is all about having the right items for every situation, and knowing when to use them to kill as many bugs as possible. Something I didn't know for almost my entire first playthrough was the throw attack. If you knock a bug out, you can pick it up and then make Erica throw it like a volleyball, usually into other bugs which knocks them out as well. Bizarrely, the game has a throw counter which affects the ending you get, so keep that in mind. The only thing I find truly offensive is the rabbit catching segments. Once a level, you have to sneak up on this little prick and shake him down for a key item. If you fail, he'll disappear somewhere else, usually a loading screen away. Except there's a chance he won't give you an item even if you do catch him, so you'll have to do it 2 or 3 times if you're unlucky. I really don't understand what this is supposed to do other than test my patience. I enjoy the whimsical fairy tale menus and how they contrast with the generally disgusting everything else. My favorite level is easily the old Japanese town. It looks great, sounds genuinely spooky for a change, and adds all these unique yokai-inspired enemies, like the floating Hina dolls or the severed hands. It's like Silent Hill F but with better combat, and written by someone not terrified of his own penis. The overwhelming hell does something I've never seen in any other video game, and will probably never see again. There are 5 unlockable accents for Erica, aside from her standard Tokyo accent. You get them by beating the game on different combinations of difficulty and ending. I got the Turbo Normie ending first, so I unlocked her Aomori accent.
人気のない夜の学校は昼間の活気が嘘のように静かで人気のねえ夜の学校は昼間の活気が嘘のように静かでさなんだべそこりゃいや
I know it probably wasn't that much work, but having the voice actress record all her dialogue 6 times with different accents still seems amazingly deranged. This is probably very funny if you know the language, but my amusement is derived from it existing at all. The Overwhelming Hell is a compilation of everything good about TAMSOFT, perversions and sense of humor included. They deserve recognition and no one else will give it, so they'll have to settle for me, unfortunately. Just make it as they like, indeed. Before this video goes off the deep end completely, let's take a breather and look at some simple 1500 games. It's largely the same deal as 2000. Weird European releases, generic but also eccentric, but I have less to talk about. However, the 2 games I've set aside for you here are absolutely incredible. First off is Simple 1500 Volume 56, The Sniper, a prequel to The Sniper 2, another internet funny man classic. Do take a moment to appreciate just how much quirky gamer culture was born from the Simple series. Harry C. Spencer is a sniper hitman taking on the mafia to get revenge for his dead wife, I'm assuming. I've compared many games to OVAs in the past, and it's definitely true here. Hell, this game is about as long as one. No funny bad English voice acting here. Just seiyus who know exactly what kind of game this is. It's unfortunate I can't understand the dialogue, but oh my god am I glad I played this anyway. The Sniper might just be the coolest game ever made. There's opening credits, ending credits, cool English text, cutscene direction, chapter cards, an adorable MIDI jazz soundtrack with way too many songs, a narrator on the results screen doing a whole next time on the sniper thing.
その幸せはいとも簡単に壊されてしまった。ネクストステージ、魂の牢獄。
What the fuck, this is the best game over screen I've ever seen. There is more style than there is game. You pick your sniper nest and the time of day and wait.
Hello, ハリー。ターゲットはもういるわよ。こんな時間からワインを飲んでいい気分みたいね。ブロンドのゴージャス女と一緒よ。よかったわね、見やすいターゲットで。
No music, just footsteps, radio chatter, and the wind. Soon enough your target shows up. You shoot him and you win. Miss even once or hit the wrong person and it's over. The contrast between the gameplay and its insane maximalist presentation is delightful. Again, there's really nothing simple about this. It takes a lot of skill and work to make something this elegant and concise. There's absolutely no filler here. As you can see, Harry is blonde in my game because he turns blonde after you finish the game once. I don't know why. But who cares about that? Here's the aliens. This is a secret mode where you have to use your rifle scope to find who's actually an alien and kill them. This is hidden behind a whole other set of special missions. I don't know why, but thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, what? Again? Simple 1500 Volume 89. The Power Shovel. Localized as Power Shovel and also Power Diggers if you prefer. Power Shovel is a game where an Oji-san construction company mascot yells at you. You use your entire controller to operate this wonderfully elaborate excavator and use it to perform an entire Japanese game show's worth of tasks. Loading sand, saving turtles, demolishing houses, destroying cars, even making curry. Specifically, the curry minigame has you shoveling different levels of spicy curry onto plates, per the customer's wishes. Do it correctly or you get yelled at. I feel like I'm playing a game made by Nihon Break. Yeah, it turns out Power Shovel is just as, if not more, over the top than the Sniper. Everything from the many different modes and minigames to the extras and menu layouts are absurdly lavish on a level I find difficult to describe. It's as though the most talented people on Earth all joined together to work on this niche job simulator. This game has a full boomer rock soundtrack by Kawaz, a fake band created just for it. This game has a Gran Turismo photo mode for your excavator, where you get to adjust its exact position and lighting. This is the lovely extras menu that vaguely reminds me of the sound room from Wario Land 4.
そこまでよっしゃ始め
The announcer is Ichiro Nagai, one of those legendary old dude voice actors, with hundreds of roles across like 50 years. The retry menu after you fail a mission has the words "Keep Ambitious" in bright red burning letters. Power Shovel will turn you into a middle-aged construction worker. You will pick your game mode in under 10 seconds because men like us don't have time to choose. You will know the joys and struggles of operating heavy machinery. You will love the toil. You will keep ambitious. Here's Kakashi again. I told you there's no escaping him. He has a voice in everything now. This is his appearance in Symbol 2000 Volume 91, the All-Star Fighting Festival, localized to All-Star Fighters, a title which I assume is a joke. a crossover fighting game featuring various simple series characters. This one isn't made by either VINGT-ET-UN or TAMSOFT, though it certainly carries their flame. It features 14 unique characters from Bikini Girl to Chainsaw Boy. Let's see who you can recognize. First we have Golden Girl Riho Futaba. I guess she's like the Ryu of this game. Then it's Fu Yue from Zombie Attack, who probably plays slightly better here than she did in her own game. Then two characters I do not know that only serve as obstacles on the way to the man, the myth, the legend, Earth Defense Force. Next is someone who might be Riho's little sister, Our Guy, and then Kyo Asuka from the classic Yakuza Fury. And yes, that's the real cover, thank you 505. And finally, Aya from Onechambara, and then a girl that shows up in Street Boys at some point. Honestly, this could have used more characters. What about Luke Turner from The Prisoner? Or the ambulance from Zombie Virus? What about Harry C. Spencer? Hell, what about this guy? So many iconic characters to pick from. I'm only half joking when I say that. Really, I probably like this roster more than most normal fighting games. Kakashi's whole thing in this game is wanting to be a human boy. I guess his elderly farm friends don't exist in this timeline. He has some amusing interactions with the other characters. He's only recently gained sentience and is usually just curious about everything, not even malicious. He does threaten to kill a woman though. And he has an uncomfortable interaction with a gay pederast alien slug, most likely from some tokusatsu game. It's party time. Battle for all the craziest characters you've ever seen. Let's see who would be the strongest and the weirdest of all. Well shit, I guess the title really is a joke. I'm wondering if this stage is possibly a reference to Road Warrior. Since it's this evil, grimy truck speeding through Tokyo, I am the only person in the world who's ever wondered this. This stage is definitely from Yakuza Fury though, a game I actually played for this video but couldn't find much to talk about in. The one clip I have of it is this shopkeeper lady wearing a Midnight Scarecrow Kakashi reference shirt. And yes, I know what you're thinking, but Yakuza Fury actually came out almost 10 months before that other Yakuza. Games about criminal tough guys in Japan were an established thing for a long time. At least until the whole genre became another daycare for middle-aged Western colonizers. This game is cute. I have no idea how to play it, or even if it can be played in an optimal fashion, but it's wonderful that there exists a party game, a celebration of all these weird-ass bootleg characters that I've come to love. They really did all they could. If you go back to the Simple 2000 series, we actually had a very simple fighting game called All-Star Fighting Matsuri, which included the EDF Ranger, Onechambara's Aya, who fought against each other. That was one of the earliest collaborative titles we made, with our brand characters. If you check the Sony PlayStation archives, it should still be there. Laughs. But don't expect anything special. It's Simple 2000 after all. I must have the wrong game. There's no funny EDF chants or singing, no hilarious bad voice acting. My internet friends that barely manage to tolerate me aren't here either. This isn't funny at all. It's actually kind of fucking scary. Welcome to Earth Defense Force. Oh excuse me, I mean Monster Attack. Oh excuse me, I mean Simple 2000 Volume 31, the Chikyu Boy Gun. Monster Attack pits you as the single defender of this vile planet against alien invaders, but mostly just ants. Hundreds of them swarming you from all sides, weaving through alleys and rooftops, destroying the frame rate and your eardrums, all set to a horrifying orchestral cacophony. Like I said, there's no friends, no NPCs. It's just you, the aliens, and this empty Garry's Mod wasteland of brittle Japanese office buildings. This is not a haha ironic B-movie. This is the overwhelming hell with guns. This is Drakengard with ants. And then you disintegrate instantly because Inferno mode is very silly. I love this game. I'm so glad this became a franchise. This premise practically begs for iteration, and yet the first installment already gets almost everything right, while still being a weird oddity next to its siblings. It's a miracle that a studio as humble as Sandlot still gets to exist in the modern era and do what they do best. This game is the crown jewel of the Simple series for a reason, but don't take it from me. Somehow it came out good. Because of Simple series and being for the casual gamers, somehow it found a future for the game. It had a chemical reaction with the user and became a very popular game. And because it became popular, we made a number 2 game in the series. Is exactly what it looks like. A horror visual novel done with live-action characters and cutscenes. A cursed game that seems to drag its victims inside of it, all players becoming unwilling perpetrators of the curse, including you. After all, you're playing that very cursed game right now. It's really cute in how it tries to make the player an actual part of the narrative. What's also cute are their attempts to hide what is blatantly a PS2. What the hell is that controller? Noroi no Game is also an unintentional treasure trove of amateur Heisei-era photography. The buildings, the people, the technology. I'm pretty sure I spent an hour scrolling by just to see more of it. It has that grainy DV camera look that tells me I'm about to watch one of the best or worst films ever made. It's a real shame I can't say much more about it, but I'd be crazy if I didn't put something this cool in the video. Anyway.
シンプル2000シリーズアルティメットボリューム17対戦爆弾ポイポイは好評発売中です。
You heard the man. This is Simple 2000 Ultimate Volume 17, Taisen Bakudan Poi Poi. What makes this so ultimate, you may ask? Does this help? In the year 20XX, a supercomputer suddenly began to run out of control. Within it, several system programs possessing their own will secretly fought for supremacy, engaging in a fierce conflict. What kind of battle could it be? It is said that highly advanced personified AIs are throwing bombs at each other in a virtual space. Seriously? I like that one of the AIs chose to be a lecherous middle-aged salaryman with a wig. He's my favorite. Anyway, this game is very simple but so chaotic I still lack the words to explain it. You pick a character, a stage, and then run around collecting bombs. They form a trail behind you and you throw them at other people. There's bouncy bombs, short fuse bombs, mystery bombs, and you can even turn into a bomb. There's a few support items like the superstar from Mario and running shoes, and a potion that makes you fall asleep, and so on. It's you versus a few other AI-controlled enemies. Take their lives to 0 and you win. If that's still too complicated, just consult the loading screen for advice. No, this is not a parody comic drawn by some Japanese blogger in 2003. This is Bakudan Poi Poi's actual loading screen. I think comedy games are one of those things the Japanese had already perfected years before anyone even found the words to describe them. The characters are your classic ensemble. You have the JK, whose weight and measurements are censored in the select screen by a series of increasingly annoyed protests from her. The sexy nurse, whose age is also censored. The weird drunken salaryman, who is revealed to be bald once he's in low health. The police officer. I'm sure there's something to laugh about with him, but I just can't see it. Since these are all supposed to be AIs fighting for control over the system, I guess they were trained on 5 billion hours of Japanese game shows and sitcoms. It's a great time anyway. This whole game feels like an inside joke. I don't really get it, but it's funny all the same. We have reached the final stop. This is Momo Samejima. She's a special agent working for the miniskirt police. Her goal is to take down a crime syndicate spreading a new drug that turns people insane and violent. I'm assuming. Here we can see her hard at work subduing a suspect. She is also the protagonist of Simple 2000 Volume 88, The Miniskirt Police. And what an appropriate volume number that is. A beautiful policewoman, battered and worn down, still standing up to evil. Do you want to see that? Developed by Insert Joke Here and featuring a very special appearance by one Kowloon Kurosawa. Kowloon Kurosawa, a man who has been playing games his whole life, also known in some circles as an underground documentarian. After his shocking debut Cyber Asia Copy Heaven, he continues to explore the darker sides of the internet with works like The Refreshing Internet. Age 23. God, I'm a loser. You know him for his funny video game Hong Kong 97, but back in Japan he's mostly known for his sleazy subculture writings, with a focus on Asian bootleg game markets, shock videos, and dubiously legal early internet adventures. Everything dangerous and digital. If you couldn't tell by his name, Kurosawa sees the rest of Asia outside Japan as these exotic lands full of treasure and mystery. And I don't blame him. I'd feel the same way if I saw triads at a flea market, guarding stacks of bootleg Famicoms. His stories are absolutely fascinating. Making text adventure games at 14 years old and selling them at conventions next to porn games to make some extra money. For me, it's his game Torture Master that frankly just looks like something a school shooter would make. It comes with a very amusing offer though. With this software, we can make a custom torture data list by order. Send a photo of the person you want to torture and describe what kind of torture you want to perform, along with one blank 5-inch 2D disc and 350 yen for shipping, and within up to 2 weeks we'll create your very own Torture Master. If you send a photo of your face, we'll replace Saddam's face with yours. Lol. According to him, he was offered to work on the miniskirt police by a friend who was currently working on the game. They had the concept of a lady cop who loses clothing as she takes damage, but not much else. So Kurosawa was brought in to create the setting, enemies, and story. Let's see what he came up with. Well, the sky is broken. That's a good start. Now the sky isn't broken so much as it's just wrong. It looks like fuzzy TV static. The enemies dematerialize when you look at them through a fence or a glass door. My weapon icon is that of a revolver, but Momo clearly shoots a pistol. Hey, would you like to play a beat-em-up where your character just freezes in place every time you take damage to get all flustered about her torn clothing? No? Well, that's too bad. You're generally supposed to avoid combat unless you have grenades or a bunch of ammo. What should you do instead, then? Now, did you notice I was slowly sneaking up on someone as my spinning lock-on turned red, granting me an instant kill attack? Before you even ask,
マンハントっていうゲームがあって、僕それやってたんで当時、それをパクっただけです。
Of course he loves the scary snuff film game. He's probably seen a few before, including manhunt mechanics and what is otherwise a bare-bones etchy TAMSOFT-like is incredibly funny. The Miniskirt Police is a comedy game just like Bakudan, though much meaner in its sense of humor. The jokes are either on you or the game itself, which is pure Kurosawa. Of course the red light district area looks super detailed compared to the rest of the game. He knows what these seedy places look like firsthand. There's a real vitality behind this game, real experiences informing it. It's like the connection they made between Death's Blood and Pink films, only much, much dumber. Welcome to the mental hospital level. They've given up on even making a sky at this point. We're going in undercover to crash their evil drug meeting. The enemies don't hurt me for now, either because I'm disguised or they're tweaking too hard. Look at these Torture Master screenshots. Think of the Bosnian War Corps from Hong Kong 97. Now look at this. I can instantly tell it's the same guy behind it and I don't even know why.
倉庫のピロジンは無事か？女二人は始末したか？よくやった。
This looks like a fucking Postal 2 mod. So the big head Yakuza manlet is getting his evil drugs from the Philippines and spreading them throughout Tokyo. There is a clown. The clown is actually the final boss who's really behind it all. By the way, the menus and loading screens in this game are fantastic. Try not to die of whiplash. They're incredibly cool and well made, evoking both Killer 7 and the sniper, and then the actual game resumes and this giant gimp just clips through the doorway. Eventually, Momo comes across a Hong Kong policewoman held captive. She has aggressively broken Japanese.
私、香港警察の陳刑事言います。国兵の潜入捜査でここに。
I can only describe this as Nettoyo humor. It's professional kusoge approved and published side by side with relatively big franchises and cult classics. This could have just as easily been a freeware PC game made by a bunch of image board otaku, and that's why this game will forever stick to me like black mold. But that's not the whole story. What I'm about to tell you has nothing to do with the simple series whatsoever, and is barely related to the miniskirt police, but it's simply too good not to mention. From 1995 to 96, an obscure gaming magazine called Game URARA made the rounds in Japan for a whole 5 issues before its cancellation. Kowloon Kurosawa was a writer for this magazine and had his own column in it, which should tell you everything. This is probably the most insane discovery I've made since the Bullet Witch developer blog. It's a publication devoted to everything bad about games, seemingly only interested in gaming as a subcultural artifact and nothing else. They see video games as illegal cyberpunk contraband sought after by the worst degenerates alive, and they think it's awesome. Sure, there's reviews, but they're mostly of porn. They do show you cool new games like this. The biggest find we made in Korea this time is Doom's Street Fighter version for IBM-compatible PCs. In Doom, by modifying WAD file configuration data, it's possible to create original characters and maps. Examples of this kind of character modification include things like Star Wars Doom, Star Trek Doom, Alien Doom, Batman Doom, and Toy Story Doom.
Please do not make any inquiries about this software to ID Software Inc.
They also put up a few Doom 2 maps and cheat codes to cover their asses. Hey, we're gonna waterboard a Sega Saturn while it's still running to see what happens. Guess what? It stops working. The PlayStation put up a good fight though, taking nearly twice as much water as the Saturn to die while running Kingsfield. Mind-boggling indeed. A new style of game, almost like environmental software, Aquanaut's Holiday has been well received. We'll focus on and introduce only the rare species. This might be the most normal page in all of Game URARA, and I just adore that it's for Aquanaut of all things. It shows that despite all the filth, they probably do get games on a much deeper level than most. Anyway, in 1994, Kurosawa created a message board called Tokyo Isoternet, and he wrote an article for it. A primitive BBS, more devilish and terrifying than the internet. Its secrets revealed. Have you ever heard of the internet? When compared to ordinary PC communications, ours is twice as stimulating. Illegal operators running wild and completely unhinged people are monitored, and our dedicated scout teams recruit them one after another. We're also pursuing celebrity members. Our agents around the world are working to recruit Michael Jackson, who allegedly showed a child his clone. A fully stocked antisocial library, from illicit images to terrifying documents. The internet's file library is packed with material directly imported from America that's harmful to mind and body, like how to make bombs, techniques for building strength, and even professional murder, along with countless other entertaining documents.
例えばですよ、例えば痴漢がその情報交換したりみたいな
やり方。
そうそう、電車がいいとかそういうことはあったんですよ当時、ただそれだけのものっていうのがなかったんで、それだけのものをちょっと作ったらどうなるかなと思って作ったということですね。
Following this is a page that breaks down the terms hacker, cracker, and freaker, along with Kurosawa's sarcastically named book, The Refreshing Internet. Half of that book is just showing you every possible shock website from the mid-90s, and the other half is Kurosawa and friends harassing random people with questions about the internet and otaku. Say hello to the Game URARA cover girls, by the way. This is 15-year-old Izumi Kobayashi, an aspiring actress who is apparently really good at Samurai Showdown. They also list her measurements. Here's her posing with some bootleg Nintendo monstrosity. This is Kaori Furuya, Volume 4's cover girl. She is 16 years old and likes singing. Her measurements are even less impressive than Izumi's. Here's her holding a Type GAR 35 white noise generator. Here's Mail Order Video Mania, Kurosawa's edgelord VHS corner, where he shares grotesque pornography, gore, and more interestingly, various classified hospital and insane asylum tapes he can't go into detail about. The cartoon man on the left is expressing self-hatred for willingly reading this bullshit every issue. Anyway, here's a review of the Shinrikyo anime. Here's how we eavesdropped into police communications as they moved in to arrest a high-ranking Shinrikyo member. Here's an Shinrikyo cosplay showcase. Here's a list of North Korean radio frequencies for some fucking reason. Let's make an Shinrikyo parody game. We have absolutely no relation with Shinrikyo. We hate them. I was very grateful for the release of Hong Kong 97. Since we released that obscure title to the world, people began spreading that incomprehensible, dreadful product from everywhere, as expected. But since we received yet another fun work of art from the bowels of hell, we will distribute it to everyone. And then there's just a bunch of telephone club numbers. I can keep going. Like, there's this issue where they reviewed a racist board game sent to them by the National Alliance, a group the writers mockingly referred to as patriotic and trying to protect America, but then Game URARA goes ahead and just drops the big HH as the first words in the article, just in the off chance anyone might see them as good boys for once. Alright, come on guys, we need to review these adult goods for men. Let's just gather around in a circle and go at it. I think I'm done now. Basically, this is the Gero Gary Gegege of video games, a mutant made of provocation and sincerity, both of them deeply sickening. I went from wanting to play the cool emo Scarecrow game to uncovering an ancient refuge for antisocial perverts and cyber terrorists, people who made a living turning the awfulness of the world against it. As I sit here writing this at 2:40 AM, wiping drool on my shirt and shivering in the cold, 4 days after my shower broke down, leaving me even more of a disgraced basement creature than usual, I read this 30-year-old magazine and realized that I might have possibly belonged somewhere once upon a time. Maybe talking about weird games like I do now, maybe even making them. That time is long gone, but I'd like to remind you all it once existed. I'll leave you with some reader comments from Game URARA. I think it'd be fine to go even more extreme and disturbing. Well, this kind of thing is the best, so please keep making the magazine like this. Game URARA looks sloppy at a glance, but it's actually not. That's its charm. I like it a lot. I also found this comment on an old YouTube video about Bakudan Poi Poi. The amount of random crap that comes from Japan, I love it. I think game developers went crazy in the early 2000s because they made games about anything and with a low quality of graphics. Japan, I love you. There's nothing more to say.